my brother?
Ali Siddiq, what's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, Mr. Sean Anthony? How you doing today, brother?
Doing great, man. Big fan of yours. I had an opportunity to check you out a few years ago when you came to Columbus, Ohio, the Funny Bone, and I think it was before the pandemic.
Okay.
And when I got the tickets, I was like, Ali Siddiq, Ali Siddiq. I said, let me look this guy up, and I went down a rabbit hole, man, and I was like, "Oh, this show is going to be great," and it was, and I enjoyed myself. Take me back. What got you into comedy? When was your start?
Just Joking Comedy Cafe, 1997 in December. Yeah, 1997, December, maybe like the 5th or something like that. I went to Just Joking Comedy Cafe, got on stage for the first time.
Now,
Mhm.
you, how long did it take you to, really fall into, your niche? Every comedian, I think, has a certain style of comedy. You know what I mean? And I, I I think it takes time once people start to get into their element. When did you find that space when you knew you were in your groove?
Not Comedy is a living vessel, so everybody thinks that they are in their groove whenever they think that. It's if you ask some younger comics, they think they're in their groove right now. They've been doing stand up less than 10 years, but they have gained some sort of success and they feel like they're in their groove. But I'm still not in a groove. I'm in a cool space, but and comics say this to me all the time. Ah man, you good. I say I'm still trying. And
Mhm.
man, you not, yeah, man, I'm not trying to be humble. I'm telling you the truth. I guess what other people deem as success or deem to be good or whatever that is, I'm I'm not that. I'm like Jerry Rice and like Kobe. I'm still in the gym practicing. I don't care about I won a Super Bowl. I don't care about I got a ring and what they got to do with this season. So, I'm constantly trying to get better every day. So I'm not in any type of groove. I'm just constantly developing.
Mhm.
What I was 5 years ago. Somebody say, you was good 5 years ago. I say to you, but um, I don't think I've never given audience members power to tell me what I was or what I'm not. I don't care about what you think because what you think is good, I think that's. If somebody tell me, "Oh, this is a good," oh, but you judging me on 10 years ago when I was actually telling jokes,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? Which I don't have a season because it's I've been doing this 27 years. When you found out about me, what, 5 years ago?
Something like that around that time, yeah,
Yeah, but I've been doing it 27 years.
man.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
crazy.
But so somebody say in 2008 when I got the standing ovation on HBO's Def Jam, they thought I was in the groove then.
Right.
But when people tell me, they say, well, Mexican got on boots. Well, that was almost 15 years ago,
Mhm.
10 years ago, something like that. That was a long time ago from what I am now. So now if people come into contact with me and you seeing domino effect,
Which is great, by the way. Kudos to you on that, man. One, two, and three.
yeah. So, and it's a four. So it's four parts, right? Domino effect two is my best work to this date
Mhm.
because all the elements are there, but you have a person who hasn't grown up in their mind yet. So domino effect two is nothing to them until they grow up in their mind. But they think Mexican got on boots is my best work. I had been doing stand up 17 years before I even did Mexican got on boots.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So somebody else will go back and think that um what's my first album? Talking Loud Saying Something. They would think that was my best work. And at the time I would have told you that was my best work.
Hmm.
But then fast forward some years, Domino Effect 1, 2, 3, 4. The first time a comic has ever did a series of stand-up specials that's all connected to each other where you had to follow the story from one to the end. Never been done before. Do I think that's my best work? Still not, still no.
With Domino Effect, was it pre-planned to do it that way, or did you do the first one and was like, you know what? Let me do this again and add on.
Nah, it was the first one I did, and then people start asking what happened after that. So once people started asking what happened, I just went in chronological order of the year because I started at 10. So this is an account of a person's life from 10 years old to 25. So it's a 15-year window of my life.
Hmm.
And the the notion was to do one, and then when the hey man, what's the rest of the story? Then two happened. Then after in the middle of two, once I knew two was such a piece, a masterful piece that three, I didn't even want to do a 3 and 4, but I had to finish the story because we was asking, well, what happened? Because I was literally leaving cliffhangers
Hmm.
at the end of each one. They're like, yo, I gotta know what happened. So now I just recorded 3 new specials, right? But this is material that's not really connected to a series of things. It's connected to a series in life, but I'm not putting it together in that form. So I'm getting ready to do In the Shadows, launching the next tour. But that In the Shadows is going to be the next series of the story from 25 to now. 1, 2, 3. So 25, 26, 27. So that's 3 years. So I gotta go from 25 to 28, and from 28 to 30. 30, about 33. You know what I'm saying? So in the course of that, it's probably like 3 different hours if I'm doing it in intervals of 3 or 4 years. Because very significant things happen in that thing. So now people are about to get the how did I get to coming being on your show? How did I get here from getting out? So that's the story that I think is untold as well. Because when people incarcerated, they don't know the story. Then when you get out, they don't know how people they don't know what people are going through.
Right.
When they get out. So In the Shadows is an account of me trying to become a comic in a very public space, but trying to be private because I'm on parole. and, I don't want nothing to happen. Somebody get jealous of you and say, "Oh, he did this," and now you back locked up trying to fight your case from inside, and you got to start over again. So being in this world and being convicted and how I'm trying to navigate through that, man, I couldn't tell you the truth about me because I was scared and leery of other things.
So are you're no longer on parole
Oh
now?
no, I've been on parole since 2007.
Okay.
But the the life is still there of people that are in that's in this world that's navigating through their past,
Hmm.
not trying to. My mom has never been locked up, but my mom is very secluded. Like she's not gonna give you no real information on her. And it's because she's leery of that you would try to use that information against her in some form. She don't even know. She don't know what the plight is. She just know I ain't finna help you.
But isn't that what I think the fabric of a comedian is exposing themselves, being vulnerable? How did you get to that space, to be as vulnerable as you are? Because throughout your specials, you talk about being incarcerated. You talk about the things that you go through. You know, some comedians may compartmentalize that and not talk about that. What led you to be so vulnerable?
Growth. Me growing up as a person, and then DL had told me maybe what 2007, 2000, something like that. It's two people who told me some things that opened me up. Because I'm a very standoff person, and not because I'm mean, because I don't trust you easy. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of, when you that type of person, you kind of gotta let some of that down in order to grow as a comic. So DL told me, he said, man, the funniest you gonna ever be in your life is based upon how honest that you want to be.
Mm.
And that's one style of stand-up. Everybody is not, and I don't even know why most people don't even know why they like that style. Bill Cosby was very open to a certain extent, but Pryor was open with he's open with error, which when you open with error, that you'll lose shame, so you will start to find solitude in what's wrong with you versus healing what's wrong with you. So Richard, well, this is his style. His style is,
When you say error, you mean like he was talking about his mistakes, right?
yeah,
Gotcha.
the like, but people relish in their error now. You know what I'm saying? He was telling you what he was going through because he was ashamed of what he was going through. Then it's a point where he became not ashamed.
Mm.
So his shame, his is no longer being shame became his stick.
Mm.
Like, so you associate Richard with drug use, you associate Richard with depression, you associate Richard with all this. Oh, so now people think, well, you got to tell me the worst things about you in order for me to be happy. No, because comedy is, tell me what Gallagher did that was so open. So
Just
I think,
destroying food on
yeah,
stage.
I think that self deprecation is not a part of stand up. That's a style that people use because you have a lot of other great comics like Dick Gregory. Dick Gregory was centered around information, giving you information that you didn't know. I ain't talking down on me. I'm talking down on that y'all don't read and y'all don't educate yourself and you don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So then when Cosby told people to say that, they got mad at him.
Mhm.
Even though he is single-handedly financed more black educational institutions than any other entity on the planet.
Mm.
But you're mad at him for telling you to read. Then you'll turn around and somebody else tell you pimping, pimping, pimping. They can give you no food, and you'll think that they the greatest thing around. And
Mm.
this right here, nigga. This right here, nigga. But what is that giving you?
Cryptochronicana like. I want to go back to Dick Gregory. I had an opportunity to interview him some years ago for my talk show.
Huh?
You
Huh? You talking,
hear me?
huh?
Did he cuss you out? I always tell people like, man, you ain't really talk to him unless he cussed you out, man. But cause I seen in another interview that you did, you talked about, DL's influence on you as well as Dick Gregory. Talk a little bit more about Dick Gregory, man, because he was a phenomenal man and he lived through generations and made impact. The interview that I did was about the information that he knew and he was willing to share.
Hmm.
Talk about your personal relationship. What some of the things you learned with Dick Gregory?
Dick was the person that told me eye to eye, eyeball to eyeball. Man looked me right in my face and said, "You know you're gonna take my place, right? But nigga, you got to wait till I die." I said, "Man, can't nobody take your place." He's like, "Nah, huh? Listen to me. We
When did he say that? How long ago was that?
4 months before he passed.
Man.
He Hey man, we are cut from the same cloth." He said, "I'm a Libra and you a Libra. You gonna have to, in order to be successful, Ali, you gonna have to get your attitude in check because you are too mean of a man." And what's funny is the at the time the head coach of the Rockets, his brother, um, Dick Gregory had a manager named Anthony Colbert that used to be on the road with him. Anthony Colbert Jr. is my accountant. His dad used to tell me all the time about it. Um, so when he said it to me, because he said it in front of all of them, he said, "Because he the meanest person at this that's sitting at this table. And if he don't get his attitude in check, he gonna kill somebody because he don't like to be played with." And while he's saying all of this, man, my head is slowly just tilting down because I know he's right. And I think that with the information that he was giving me, I'm not, I'm, I had to change. This is like 6 hour conversations with him. I had to change how I present things and how I present myself, but still keep who I am. Cause I don't want to be, I don't want to play with people. I'm not, I don't want to, I don't Jones off stage. I don't, whatever you think a comic is, I'm anti that because that's not my lane. And comedy is all sorts of different types of lanes. So the boy from what's his name from Jackass,
um,
he's old,
yeah.
he's old,
The guy
whatever.
that talks like this, he talks like that, right?
Okay, so set itself on fire and do all the rest of that. That's his lane.
Mhm.
So do you ask every comic to be like him? Just like I don't ask every comic to be informational. It's everybody has his own lane.
Right.
And so with Dick explaining to me what lane I actually needed to be in. You know what I'm saying? He's saying you can jump lanes because you talented, but you're gonna have to get your attitude in check to do any of it.
What were you mad about though? What was it?
I'm not, that's the thing. I think people think attitude has to do with me. I have a standoffish attitude. I don't how people talk these days, how males talk to each other, they don't talk to each other like men. So I'm not in that wheelhouse. I'm not no dude you can come up playing with and all that because I have a different background than other people. And so whatever people think comics are, just like every football player is not the same person. I can't say all football players are like this. Maybe receivers are like this. Maybe linemen do this. You know what I'm saying? But they lump us as comedians. Then somebody find that you're a comedian, the first thing is tell me a joke.
Right.
What are you talking about, bro? Because I'm not I'm playing with you. But did I come up to you? You deliver mail, right? Did I see you in your street clothes and say, hey, where my letters at? I say it's a certain etiquette and a certain thing. And I was putting that everywhere. My attitude was everywhere. And it was even in the boardrooms. I was like this. I was in the boardrooms like this. Like, yo, what that mean? Like this I literally I'm in Sony. They asked for a meet with me, and I'm in Sony like this.
Your demeanor was
Yeah,
off-putting.
my demeanor, because I don't want you. So watch this. Even though that demeanor is not conducive for smiles, right? But I've never been in a room when an executive has disrespect me. Hey, let me suck your meat. They not gonna play with me like that.
Right, right.
Ain't nobody in Hollywood gonna play with me like that. I'm not gonna get invited to the Diddy party.
Just because of the energy that you
Yeah,
put
yeah.
off.
Cause my energy is like, hey, bro, I wish you would put some baby oil on me. If you in the squirting baby oil, you better make sure it don't hit me.
Right,
That's square business. You know what
right,
I'm saying?
right, 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 right. You
it
setting
been it,
boundaries.
yeah, it been like, it been bro, little drop. I can be in the park. They can be throwing baby oil everywhere. They gonna send somebody
It's
to
gonna be some
put
furniture moving.
they're gonna put two umbrellas up and be like, yo, make sure don't baby oil hit him. Because this man is said, and he's sitting there, so he ain't even gonna leave the party. Yeah, let something hit me and see what happens. Come over here and ask me something out of bounds. And you like, hey man, y'all heard about Ali, right? What happened? He was in NBC slapping everybody.
What?
remember, hold on, remember the movie Head of State when Bernie Mac
Bernie Mac got
like,
slapping
hey man,
everybody.
I
So,
don't play like that.
so where did this come from? Now, your history. I know you grew up in Houston, right?
Yeah,
You're from Houston. So where did this guardedness stem from? What was it? Did you
I'm a
fight?
street dude.
Okay.
I've been in the street since '87. Really, before that, if you go back to Domino Fix 1983. But being a full-fledged street boy, I'm in the streets in '87.
So
See,
that, that
I'm not from. I'm a bona fide street dude. Like, I wasn't in prison for 6 years playing with nobody.
mhm.
And if you think, like, when people, well, were you doing stand up in prison to protect yourself? Yo, man, don't come in with that bullshit house party nonsense shit that somebody wrote. That Richard Pryor has never been to fucking jail. So stop thinking that shit is the truth. See that all that right there playing with me. I remember I was in an interview with these guys in Washington, and he probably can pull this up. The interview was going great. Interview was going good. And then this dude say, were you in prison doing stand up to protect yourself? So I just want to ask you a question. Before I answer your question, I just want to ask you a question. Are you asking me that because I'm 5'7", 160 pounds? Because if I was standing, I was asking honestly. If I was sitting here 6'4", 280, would you be asking me that same exact question if I came through the same way? Would you be asking me that same question? He's like, well, no, because you. I say, man, I'm the most formidable person that you probably ever met in your life. I say, what? Ain't no. I'm the only person in this room that's ever killed somebody, weapon or bare hand. I'm probably the most violent. I'm probably the most one of the most violent people that you will ever meet in your life. And I'm gonna be calm and I'm gonna be as standoffish as possible. But once you turn me, I said, man, you don't know what I used to do. What I used to do in the streets. I used to down people, fam. Like, but so who are you talking to? I said, you ain't gonna never hear nobody in prison say they did nothing to me because I would down you, and they already know. Nat Turner, 160 pounds, 5'7". He killed 100 people in a night.
Hmm.
So who you think you talking to? I say, because I guarantee you, in the temperature changed in the whole room because
I
I
bet.
wasn't
Shoot, it
I
just
wasn't
changed right now.
because I'm like, yo, who are you talking to? And most people in the streets, that's real street dudes from the 80s to the 90s to now, they'd be like, yo, you know he a problem, right? Like he looked like that, but this is a serious problem.
Hmm.
It ain't nobody in this business gonna be like, yo, man, because most of the time I've given grace to people who've gotten into it with me. And that's on my children. I've given most of these dudes grace. And people in the streets have told me that, yo, you're in an entertainment business. You in entertainment, Ali. All these dudes. You are a street dude that has turned entertainer. These people are entertainers
Hmm.
that pretend to be street dudes. Let it go most of the time. And most of the time I let it go until I see you.
Right.
Because once I see you, it's different. It's a different thing when you're dealing with somebody who don't fear nothing. And I'm talking about people like, well, I don't fear nothing. Have you ever proven that though?
So listen, I feel you through the camera, man. I feel your sincerity, man, and I appreciate you sharing that. Was this the attitude that Dick Gregory was talking about?
That's the attitude he said. I needed to get it off me. He can leave it in you because did nobody play with him. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But his but how they didn't play with him because he was very forceful with his words, and then he carried himself to me. I'm at that time, Dick. No, I was still in a physical space. Like, yo, man, let me show you the difference between me and everybody else you know. I know multiple disciplines. I came up as a trained fighter, and then I'm on something else when it comes to street business. So even though, and I'm gonna tell you, domino effect helped me release, I'm gonna say 70% of that.
Hmm. So
See, the,
comedy to you is therapeutic?
it's a healing, and it's not even just the comedy, it's the talking it out or saying it and releasing it to people. I think that's one of the one of the things with men. When you develop into a man, you can have a conversation with other men about things that's going on with you without a complex. I think if men don't open up to each other because they have complexes, they're getting an interview and they'll say things that lead people to believe that they got it together, but they have all these hidden complexes, you know what I'm saying, within their conversation or within their character. They had these holes. I think with me, I took Dick's words and it was more like, hey man, if you talking to me and you talking to these people, you have to talk through and heal yourself from this. I'm saying very rightly so that you have it, but in moving forward in your life, you're gonna have to soften up. You got kids. I have daughters, and I have sons, and I have to be a softer person because I'm still operating out of fear that I'm gonna get locked up again. This is the reason why I'm keeping people away from me. Going back to in the shadows, I'm keeping people away from me because I can't let you know anything about me or get close to me because the only way you can get stabbed is somebody get close to you.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? The only way you can get betrayed if you bring somebody into your intimacy. You know what I'm saying? The only way these can happen is with people being inside your circle. So I got the Heisman. Everybody getting the Heisman.
You
You know what
got
I'm
it.
saying? You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
I get it.
And I'm talking about even to, and I'm not just talking about with stand up, bro. I'm not able to have a good, healthy. I'm talking about good, healthy relationship with a woman because I am still operating on what? Don't ask me. Don't ask me no questions.
Are
Look,
you willing to open up and get past that though?
yeah, you know that's the
The
this is
work in progress.
the guidance that he gave me. Now we years and years and years past it now. So we if people are watching now, Domino, even with Domino Effect 1, Domino Effect 2, right?
Mhm.
Domino Effect 3 was I could say Domino Effect 2, my best piece of work. Domino Effect 3, the best time I've ever had on camera. And people can see it. I'm having a good time in Domino Effect 3. Like
Yeah,
I'm having a good time.
yeah.
When I look at it, I look at Domino Effect 3 with fresh eyes every time I see it. Like this is the first time, like this is the first time, and this is how I'd be like, "Hey man, this gonna be good." And this how I be, and it's just me watching it. I'm like, "Ooh, this gonna be good." And then I'm like, "Yo, I'm like, boy, this boy crazy right here." And this how I be talking about, like, man, no goddamn go, boy, that's crazy. but I'm having such a good time when I watch other specials. I be like this.
Hmm.
See, I should have said I should have spent some more time.
You're more critical.
Ah, man, if I would have, what is terrible? This is terrible.
Let me,
I
let
ain't
me.
gonna do that. I'd be like, I ain't gonna do it like that next time. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
when I get to 3 and have the best time of my life.
I'm running out of time, so I got a couple other questions I want to ask you before I wrap up with you, man. You talked about Dick Gregory, DL. What other comedians that gave you impact, gave you game, that really
In the book, in the book, y'all gonna have to wait for the book. The book is called,
oh
oh yeah, I got another book coming. Domino Fate is the first book, but this book right here, man, is a really, really a test to how I got here. And this answers all your questions, but I'm gonna give you one. So the name of the book is called Applied Advice.
mm,
Applied advice is a real serious thing. People give advice and get advice all the time, but they don't apply it.
right
And that's the difference between I applied Dick Gregory's advice. I applied Bill Bellamy's advice. But because you have Bill Bellamy, who, man, Bill Bellamy told me something very, very impactful. Hey, man, go where you celebrate it and not where you tolerate it.
that part.
That's the thing where I didn't have to be in nobody else's lane. I didn't have to get accepted in all these different groups.
Mm,
Man, I'm just going where, hey, guess what? I want to be on Pivot. I want to be on all the smoke. I want to be on Club Shay Shay. You called me for the interview.
right,
You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna do your interview. You know what I'm saying? Good Morning America called me for an interview. So now guess what? I interview with Good Morning America. I interviewed with the BBC. I interviewed with you. I didn't need all the smoking Pivot and Club Shay Shay. I
mm,
went on the things that benefited me.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So if somebody try to compare, well, you ain't been on Club Shay Shay, well, you ain't been on Good Morning America.
right,
So let yeah. Did the BBC call you?
right, right,
I've
right,
been
right.
talking to I'm BBC
I'm
London, baby.
international.
Yeah, been in that for a long time. I'm like, so I've learned these things, man, and Billy D. Washington, another comedian, man, from Def Jam and all over. He told me some great advice. Hey, man, when you're not on stage being funny, man, be interesting.
Mm,
Ooh, can't beat that.
right.
So you got go you don't go. Well, you tolerate go where you celebrate it
Mhm.
from a comic. Then you have, hey man, when you're not being funny, be interesting. What? Then you have the funniest you're gonna be is based on how honest you're gonna be. Hey man, then you have, hey man, you're gonna have to get your attitude together in order for you to prosper. Man, come on, man. How can I not be successful following the guidelines of this advice from the elders?
Right.
And then you got the young boy in there, Chase the Russo. Hey man, you gotta be quirky sometime and get out your skin. It was like, hey man, you quirky, get out your skin. Then I go, then I go somewhere and I do a show and they ask me to be, hey Ali, can you kind of be like, I said, y'all want to be goofy or y'all want to be quirky? Quirky. I could do quirky. Because I didn't seen it. I admit it, I used to watch Hee Haw. You know what I'm saying? I used to watch, I watch MASH. I know I do that, but that's the thing of being a comedian. You're not gonna know that Phyllis Diller and Don Rickles and um Carol Burnett are some of my favorites. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? You know, along with Dick Gregory, but along with Cheech and Chong, you know what I'm saying? Along with Rodney Dangerfield, it's along with Sammy Davis Jr. Some of the comics, man, that I really like, people don't mention a lot of times. I'm
Right.
like, so you never watch Sammy Davis Jr. do stand up? You never watch Dick? So you never watch what's my boy name? Don Rickles?
Yeah.
Man, these people, it's stand up is not just Def Jam or
Mhm.
just Comic View. Man, it's a lot of funny people in the world. Man, you trying to tell me that Steve Martin wasn't funny?
Oh,
The
he was
Jerk is one
hilarious.
Jerk is one of my favorite movies. So I think with stand up with African American comics, we get put into a box and we can't do a lot of a lot of things. But oh, you corny, you don't know. But if somebody asked me, which is a question that you probably wasn't gonna ask me, if there was a comic on this planet that I would want to be and model myself after, Byron Allen.
Wow, interesting. Last
Byron Allen.
question before this cut off, man. I got like 60 seconds left.
I got
This
to answer.
at the time of this interview, we're day after the election. Number 47, our president is Donald J. Trump, man. Your thoughts on the election?
In the words of what I forget that man's name. Be afraid. Be very this is the thing. Hey, but you know what this does for me though? This proves that this country is so uneducated and so disorganized that a convicted felon of multiple charges of things that he did while he was in office, and people can say the most heinous things, and the majority we are outnumbered by those who have poor education versus those who are educated, and those who want sensationalism over actual policies in education. This is why we have this polluted, diluted, and controlled president. I think that American people have put themselves in this position and they should be very, very afraid. Very afraid.
Ali Siddiq, man, it's a pleasure to have a conversation with you. I know you're coming to Columbus, Ohio
Yes,
for,
sir.
you plug that real quick.
Yeah, coming to Columbus, Ohio. I don't know the name of the place right now, but
I
it
think it's
is
the
a
Palace
theater.
Theater.
It
The
is the
Palace.
Palace. It is the Palace Theater.
Yep.
Coming to the Palace Theater, man, Columbus, Ohio. Hey, that is on the 16th. That's a man. That should be sold out. I don't even know why we even talk about that. That should be sold out. I'm gonna see you there, brother.
I hope so, man. I hope
Hey,
so.
man. Hey, we'll figure it out. Hey, bro. Need anything from me? You know how to contact my people. We'll
Yeah,
get you in there.
man, I
Hey, bro.
appreciate it.
I thank you, brother.
Thank you,
Hey, man.
man.
Columbus. Get ready, Columbus.
Ali Siddiq, thank you, man.
My
Peace.
brother.